A lot of the themes I'm hearing right now is it's really hard, the market's hard, I can't sell anything, and even in their life, just see we've got many of you saying that you're making sales as well. So it's about really thinking around how we offering and making these offers to people, and the messaging around it is so key for helping you stand out. Where it all began with me, I'm going to give you a quick brief view if you don't know much about my journey, my history. Where it began, I spent 19 years in corporate. I was in leadership roles where I worked from a kid being that person that stacks shelves in retail, all the way up to a leader of over big teams, about 800 people at points. Like 20 in my management team and everything. So quite challenging areas in London. So I know a bit about business and I know a bit about strategy. I qualified as a coach because I had a panic moment thinking I'm following my dad's footsteps and what on earth am I going to do with my life if this doesn't go to plan in retail. And I also then went to win CPD Coach of the Year in 2019. And then I went on to also mentor for one of the coaching establishments in the UK. I never really kind of knew what I wanted. I was that kid out of uni. I went straight into retail and just did really well at it. My success was really linear. Anything I went for, I got as a promotion. So I thought it was kind of really easy to work up the ladder. But I've always been really passionate about creating success on your terms. I've got a podcast called that, and I want to really redefine what success means in business, just beyond money as well. So things like knowing, like the personal wins. One of the things I talk about a lot is my health, as you see here, the transformation I've been on there. So I'm really passionate about actually, I love making money. I have a mindset where I can give back and use money to the greater good. But I also want to be able to travel, to have better opportunities. I want to be able to give back to more people who are less fortunate, give to my family opportunities that they haven't had, and also just give thanks to people where they've helped me to be where I am in my life. But I had no clue about business when I started. I knew business in corporate and what that looked like and how to make other people millions and save hundreds of thousands of pounds. But I had no idea how to run my own business. So I wasn't like, is it easy? Is it hard? How do you grow? What do you do? How do you stay on track? How do you get the right direction? What if it goes wrong? All these questions. But I also knew that I wanted to do this venture. And as you can see here, I'm getting great from the business. So everything that I'll be sharing with you today is the results I'm getting, what's working, what's not working. So actually, you know what works, you can work out what works for you and get that clear sense of direction. But I'm really transparent about my struggles. This was something I really found hard to do when leading people. As part of the feedback I got by my directors. I failed to sign off with directors, which started my journey into leaving corporate. I was signed off with depression. I didn't know what to do. I had to get loads of therapy to work through it all. I felt like I'd lost all my self identity. I didn't know what I stood for anymore. I didn't know what I wanted in my life. And I was kind of in that phase of like, the risk is not, not doing this and giving the business a go. I'd also struggled in relationships. I had a really bad relationship with food because of the intensity of fitness stuff I did. I felt I mixed in with the wrong crowd and was kind of like the best kept secret where I had so much value and love to give and really help people. I was posting on social media at the time, but I was kind of dilly-dallying around in building a business, but no clue what I was actually doing to grow it and no strategy in place. And I was talking about the offers, but no one was really interested. So then you do the thing like you start copying and model what other people do, hoping that that will work, and that didn't. And then I was kind of Googling things. ChatGPT wasn't there those days in the same way. So I was kind of like, how do I grow this business? So everything changed when I went to an event and I saw in what their incredible offer was, and it hooked me. And I decided to invest in only that mastermind, but a mentor as well in 2022 because I knew I needed help. I finally learned how to effectively grow from doing that. From like my first offer was £367 for 3 months to work with me one to one. So literally from barely £122 a month. In my first 90 days, I made £23,000 because of being in that mastermind and knowing what I needed to do. And then within 7 months, I was getting consistent income. But I was also then matching against things like my bonus in corporate and things as well. So that brought on lots of money mindset challenges, which I'll talk to you later about. I scaled the business last year, year on year by 38% in again. So it's people telling me it's really hard right now. Currently, as you'll see here, I'm sitting about 6.9% as of today. So not too bad, but I definitely want that to improve. And I fell in love with just simplifying the business last year, really getting clear on the offers that I've got, and making it clear for others as well how they can work with me. Whatever we do, I always want you to come back to why do you do what you do? That's so important all the time. There are going to be tough times in business. It's got its highs and its lows all the time. And for lots of the time, it can feel like nothing's working. And we're on that point, we're like, what do we do next? But I always want you to center back to why you do what you do. Your values are so important in business. They are your moral compass to help you make decisions, and be aligned every day to, am I getting closer to where I want to be and the person I want to become? So why should you listen to me? So I help entrepreneurs, coaches, and consultants build authority, get noticed, and dial in their messaging so that they can attract the aligned and ideal clients that they want to, the dream clients they want to work with, and make more sales in a business. So this is whether you're starting out in your online coaching business or mentoring business. I attract a lot of coaches because of my background. If you want to create content that builds an audience of dream clients, building incredible offers that gets clients, and of course, raving fans. I particularly think service is dropping right now, and that's something that can really help businesses to stand out and to help people have scaled their businesses to six figures and beyond. So I've got accountants I work with, leadership coaches, so many different people. And that's come from investing myself. As you see, I've had the opportunity to meet and be mentored by some incredible people, and I will always see the value in investing myself. There's never a time when I'm not working with a mentor in some way on something that's the bottleneck in my business. I'm going to show you simple ways to be getting more results aligned to your offers and bring that in with messaging this evening. I can't cover everything. I've got previous workshops on and masterclasses on offers, content, pricing. I did a leads one a few months ago. So I've got all that if you're interested and want to know more as well. But for the focus today, we'll be looking at your offers. I know what it feels like to be totally invisible online and keep hearing about like and speaking to a void. So often you can feel that it feels like you are talking to that void. You're posting, you're not getting engagement that you want. People aren't really noticing you, yet you feel you're doing all the things you need to do. So this is going to be a lot of information today, but I don't want you to be overwhelmed by that. I literally want you to think around what's relevant to me, because business is quite emotional at times, and it's for us to get really clear on the things that we need to do that are the priorities where we're working on now. I also believe in total transparency in business. I am pacey, I go fast, but I really want you to be laser focused to think around, how does this help me solve the problems I've got in my business right now? Because we're in a market where we need to make offers that are needed. There's a high demand for what we do. So if we find that there is not a high demand and then there's a high supply, that's when it's hard to leverage. So we really want to focus on making sure that we are offering incredible opportunities to people where it's literally a no-brainer and they're like, I'm in. I can talk to you about this because these are the results I'm getting. I walk my talk. I'm very passionate about that. I want to see people getting results. I think there's lots out there where people are saying they're getting results and they're not. So everything, again, I'll be sharing some case studies so you can see how it's brought to life and actually what this could look like for yourself. So the goal, one of the favorite quotes I've always had is by Disney. He's like, whatever you do it well. Do it so well that when people see what you do, they want to come back and see you do it again. And then he goes on to talk about, and then they'll bring others to see what you do as well. So I really want to think about you being the master at what you do, like really mastering your craft, honing on what you do and the value that you offer people. Get really clear on the outcome of what you help them on. So as we go through this, I just want to be clear from the outset as well, this isn't for people that get really overwhelmed. This might not be for you if you just feel that you're in a bit of an emotional state right now, or that you're not wanting to look at the data side of your business because that tells you everything. It's about being really honest with ourselves as well. I was talking to one of my clients today, and she said the real difference is made by being in a mastermind of just being really clear on what she's focusing on, having a plan, looking at the data because it helps her, whether it's a good thing or not. It just helps her get that clarity because you're going to be really laser focused to look at the one thing that you need to do. And business is just problem after problem. It's also not a great place if you just want a quick fix because a business takes time. It's time to build an audience, takes time to get to know people. And a great business is what we should be focused on. So you need to be really good in your business at helping people on all of these areas. You need to have a CEO mindset. You have to be showing up as a business leader. You will lead people. People will follow you. That's what we have online. Follow us, connect with us. They are looking to you. We need to have structure. We need to know what we're doing and when. We need to have a strategy in place. We need to be really patient. I honestly think I'd be like a billionaire if I could bottle up patience and consistency for people. Yeah, sure, that's okay. Sorry, I just seen that. If you could leave and come in, that's fine. We need to be salespeople. That's really important. We need to have sales skills and marketing skills. That's so important when we're running a business. We also need to have great content, and content not only that's just posted out there, we just need things that really stand us different with other people, and other people are clear about what we do and how we help them. We need a great client experience. It's not just enough now to offer the basics. You really need to treat people well, listen to people, help them feel understood, understand where they want to be, help them believe that they can achieve a result and know that your offer does that. Potentially for some businesses, it's looking at ads as well, the same as I've been talking about ChatGPT recently, that these aren't things that are they're not negotiable really. In the future, I absolutely believe that everybody at some point will have to be invested in ads. I think we've been quite fortunate the last few years in that we can start businesses online today and we could potentially sell something to somebody just by being organically online. That will change in time, the same as it will change with ChatGPT, taking more jobs and everything we hear about that. So we have to be really on point with what we're offering. We have to be differentiating ourselves, standing out for different things. We have to be offering a better experience. We have to be standing out of our messaging and really clear. That these are the things that are going to differentiate us, and so we can run successful businesses. So you're great at what you do. That has to be a fact. Like you have to believe in what you're doing. That's really, really key. So why aren't people potentially buying at the volume that they want you to? Now, the reality is the market has changed. So we might just be honest about that. But if your approach to offers hasn't, and it's still the same as you were doing last year, then you're going to feel stuck. You can't be doing the same thing and expecting a different result. That's like what Einstein would say is insanity. Or my corporate days would be like, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. So we need to do things very differently. We need to be adaptable in business. That's the key. So this is the great place for you if you want to make an offer that is undeniably compelling without changing what you sell. Know why your offer isn't selling. The exact words to use when it comes to dream clients who lean in and say, I'm in without feeling pushy. And I'm going to give you some examples of those and how to position your offer so it becomes a no-brainer for your ideal clients, even if you have a small audience, that's possible. My audience has never been huge. It's about the service, the getting to know people, the nurturing, the really understanding what people want and listening to that. Then you're in the right place for that. So why most offers fall flat? So people tend to blend in. They're not bold. Give me a thumbs up if you think you could be more bold online in visibility in a chat. Just let me see if I've still got you here. They focus on features, not transformations. So they talk about everything you get and not the outcome of that. They don't feel it's worth the price point. So pricing comes into it. And again, we're going to talk through that today. And they're too complex or overwhelmed. Okay. So loads of the offers are far too, like they're just messy and people aren't clear on what they get. The three common messaging myths that I hear are I need more followers. It's just a bad time of the year. People don't get it. The truth bomb is that often they're just confused and they don't buy because there isn't that clarity. It's not speaking to them. And one of the things I know with messaging is, and business, and I'm here to be challenged on it if somebody says they don't believe in it, but simplicity is the key. right? Keep it super simple. I often think like if a 6-year-old can't understand what I'm sharing and doing, then it's really too complicated. And I was talking about this with my client Sam today, and we were saying around she received an email. She says, I had to read it 3 times to understand the point they were getting. That's ridiculous. It's crazy that you're given that time. You're energetically drained from reading that and understanding it, and then you've got to work on it. We don't need all the fancy stuff. We just need to be really clear with people on everything. And it absolutely helps. Because the cost of messaging that is messy is that you aren't getting likes on your content. And it's not all about that, but you won't get the engagement. No one's clicking. They're not booking in for calls. They're not interested in what you do. They're not accessing your lead magnet. Maybe you're getting calls, discovery ones, but then they'll say things like, I need to think about it, or it's just too much money. And again, that's about how we position an offer. So they're clear. I'm really clear, people, if they work with me one-to-one for 12 months, that's £15,000. You constantly feel like you're explaining yourself over and over and over and over and over, and people still don't get it. You hear, I love what you're doing, you're smashing it, but then they're just not ready. And then they never come back. You've got a great offer, but you feel like you're just selling to the air instead of actually transformation of people. So if the right people see you, but they don't buy from you, it's often a messaging leak. We aren't giving them that clarity for them to go away and know what we do and how we can help them. So how to create a no-brainer offer. Let's get into it here so we can crack on with the actions that really drive demand and deliver results. Step 1, who do you want to help? This has to be the key when you're creating any offer. Who do you want it to help? Like, get really clear on that. And I've been really thinking around, well, how do I bring that into a bit of messaging? And I came up with a clear messaging formula. The reality is, C is a client-specific problem. Who is the client? What is their problem? Let's really know that. So with mine, it's people that have a problem with their messaging, and they feel it's messy, it's confusing, they don't know what their messaging is. That's the client I'm specifically helping. The language they use. So it's not always about just being smart. It's not always about being polished and perfect. It's sometimes just saying exactly how you feel. And right now, the content we're seeing that's working isn't all of the content where it's how to do this, how to do that. That works if you're starting out for a degree, if people aren't clear on what you do. But after that, the content that's really working right now is storytelling. You know, presenting and positioning yourself in a way where you demonstrate that you get where your client is at. Like, you were there, you're somewhere else now, and they can believe that they can achieve a result because they can see you there. So we have to take people through that step by step. And sometimes you only have to be 10% of your ahead of your ideal client. It doesn't have to be massive. Sometimes even, and it took me ages to get my head around this, with pricing and things, you can earn less than your clients will, right? So think about what you can help people with and what the offer is. I work with a couple people in leadership. He's actually been a close friend, but I've really helped him with, he's an MD in a business. He's really struggling. The company's going in and out of the literally admin point. They've been having to make redundancies. He's got his boss who he doesn't get on with, the CEO. He's got his a peer who, again, he doesn't get on with because they're kind of quite competitive. And then he's got his team. He says, I have no one to talk to. So I give him that space. I break things down with him. It brings him clarity. He has confidence when he walks away. You know, not everything is in his head. He has a clear plan. So again, it's about being really clear on how you help somebody and what that is that they need the help on. The emotional cost of staying stuck for people. So I talk about time, energy, and money. So we're going to make investments in all of those areas. Which pot do you want to do it in? Aspirational outcome of what they want, and then a real solution you deliver in plain English, like cat sat on a mat, really clear. If you can't explain your offer in one sentence and what you do, then it won't make people lean in, and it's really confusing as well. You want people to be saying, tell me more about that. So when I go to network, I'll often say I help people dial in their messaging, stand out online so they make more money. And people are like, oh, tell me more about that. Or, oh, like, I need that. So that's what I want. I don't want people walking away and going, oh, cool. Which is sometimes what I used to have when I was saying things like business coaching, because it was like business coaching for what? So we really have to get that clarity so that it gets the cogs turning in the person you're speaking to go, oh, that's really interesting. I've not heard about that. Or, oh, that's really interesting. Someone else is doing that. And I've been thinking around this. So the action I want you to think around, I want you to write down now, who do you help, and try and get that in less than 8 words. And if you really find it's hard, then as you know, most you'll know if you're on here, that I'm really approachable. So you can always DM me or ping me a message as well. If you really struggle with something, say, just want to get your eyes on it. I constantly have my inbox full with messages from clients saying, can you just check this? Can you just check that? Which I'm happy to do, but I really want you to be clear on trying under 8 words, like I just said there. Like I will go to an event and just say, help you stand out online so you make more money from your messaging. And I want sometimes even with that to go like, oh, okay, well, what does that mean? Or, oh, like messaging with this. So I can get in a conversation because then I'm in my flow. And it's often warmer as well. So I want you to write down in 8 words what you do. And it doesn't always have to be I help, I work with. You can just get straight to the point on what you do. Maybe it's make more money online, or um, I capture um, I capture those moments that you'll forget, something like that. Well, I catch those experiences that money can't buy if you're photography. Okay. Offer. Let's get into it. So that was step one, is we've got to know who do you help? Online business owners overwhelmed with tech who want to save time. Love it. I love that because you're specific there on online business owners. Overwhelmed is because they don't want to. Again, you could always say without the overwhelm. You put a partner around tech, so I'm not quite clear what you do. And then who want to save time. People, that's a real clear tangible because people want to save time, make more money, have a better relationship with themselves, with others. They want to be out of discomfort or pain. They want to get things done quicker. Tired parents who've lost their groove. Tired parents who've lost their groove. What would tired parents? I love the tired parents who've lost their groove. Groove in what? Is there something specifically? Or if they had their groove, what would they achieve? Let's just think about that one. Tired parents is cool though, because like literally if you're a tired parent, you'd be going, that's me. Um, so the step two of a no-brainer offer is start for free. So this one sometimes is really hard for people to get their heads around, but we want to be offering that lead magnet, something that gets their hook in. This I learned from Alex Hormozy a few years ago, actually. He was really clear on just give everything for free. People will argue again with this one of stop getting everything for free, all of that. People aren't struggling with information. Like it's overloaded right now. That's why I said those content pieces where it's all how to do X, how to do stuff and educational isn't getting people's attention because they don't want that. They're struggling with the help to get things done, to know what to do. They're struggling with the fact that they fear failure if something doesn't work, or they fear judgment from being online, or what others will say, even what their family will say, let alone others online. So we need to be really clear here on giving something for free. That's why I would always challenge my masterminders on what's your lead magnet right now. And we have to test things, see what works and doesn't. I've got a checklist that runs really well organically. And then I've been able to put some ad spend behind it as well. So it gets me leads into the business every day. So I really want you to have something that's going to really help people. So my checklist is the ultimate checklist to attract, like messaging checklist to attract clients and make more sales. So have you got something that you are talking about maybe a couple of times a week in your content? That is free. Something like this, a workshop or masterclass. I pretty much do one every other month now. I probably should be better, to be fair, and try different times as well. But I was running one every single month when I started the business back in 2022, and it worked really well to get people in. I'm not fussed if a few people come or hundreds come. I will serve everybody that comes and meet that because one, it challenges me to be the student and get better at how I deliver. You learn so much more when you teach it. And so therefore I'm always growing. I can give this back from my masterminders. It really helps people all the time. I actually put most of these things onto replays as well for people if they want to sign up and get it. So actually forms a lead magnet in itself that I don't have to do. It's kind of that semi-passive idea. And then I can also put it onto YouTube if I wanted to. So I have a stack of things on there so people can find me in different ways. And video is a great way for people to find you. I could, even if I wanted to, I probably wouldn't, but I could just wrap it up and put it into a podcast, or I could take every slide I've done here and create a podcast from it and multi-purpose what I'm doing. So I've always found these to be really beneficial to do, and they're free. But in some ways, they're not free because it's my time, it's your time. So we need to think about what do we need, what do they need to know? What's the point in that? If we're putting a lead magnet, what's the one thing? I think people with their messaging right now, when I see content, I read something like that's like 1,000 points in there. What's the one message you want me to take from that? Get really laser focused on that person walking away thinking that was the point of that. There was purpose to it. I also see sometimes stories on Instagram, perfect way to get your followers to continue following you and build that know, like, and trust. Posting things that have absolutely no relevance to their business. Don't get me wrong, sometimes I'll post a cat one, but I'll often put a point around it because they get really good engagement and attention. But that's the point. Attention is currency online with our offers and how I promote our businesses. So I really want you to think around the purpose, what you're doing, and what that means to your audience. It's the fastest way to rise and add goodwill to your business when we give things for free. That's a perfect place to start. So if you're putting out a new offer, give something away for free. See what works, what doesn't work. So you may have I'm running a bundle soon. I'm literally just finishing it off. I know people need it because I've gone and tested what you want in terms of this bundle I'm doing, if I could give you anything, etc. I could do it for free at first and then put a price point on it if I want to get more people in. But I'm going to just try two different hooks. I'm going to test what works and doesn't. So again, the more we put out there, the more we can test things to see what works when we do and have that main offer that comes from something like a bundle or a lead magnet. We've got more data behind it to show it works. To show people you're great at what they do so they come back. This is the part I love about this is you put something out there for somebody for free. They get a result from it. So they can do something, go, I did that, I implemented it, and that's really helped me. So we have to be clear on with offers, how quick can they get a result? So again, if they're downloading, I went for a client's lead magnet today. Dee does all around confidence, coaching, empowering women, and it was literally the lead magnet says you can do this in 30 minutes. I was like, boom! It was literally 5 points, action at the end, and then a next step, one action, next step as well. Not hundreds of ways to communicate with her after that. It was fast, so it was like in 30 minutes you can achieve X. The effort it takes somebody. People don't have a lot of patience to get started on things. You have to make that effort and sacrifice really easy for people. And the likelihood of getting a result versus the risk. We have to be able to get out there and demonstrate to people and show people that this works. It will get result because most people, their biggest sales objection is they don't believe they can achieve a result. So what we have to demonstrate is that their investment, they will get that result. So then we've got the offer matrix. So feel free if you want to take a snapshot of this. This is what I want you to work through. This is like the perfect recipe for an offer. So you want to know the problem you solve for your client. That's the first thing. And what is the ultimate result your ideal client wants more than anything? That's the key here. That's really thinking about it. So some of my masterminders joined for accountability, the same as I have a mentor right now. And he was like, why are you saying, like, what do you want to work with me? And I said, because I need the accountability that you give. You are absolutely no BS on another level. And I need somebody who's going to call me out on things, which he's doing. So I'm going to him because I need that to a degree. Do I want that? I do want that accountability. Yes, I think it's really important. I want that level of high support, high challenge too. So think around what is it that your ideal client wants. My ideal clients love community. They love in-person days and that connection and being able to bounce ideas off of people. They love the ability to communicate in a WhatsApp group and have somebody come back quite quickly to their answers or to bounce ideas and not be judged by people. They want that safe space to be genuinely safe. So I want you to think of the main outcome of your offer, then a secondary outcome of something. So let's take my business, for example. My main thing is that I help people on strategy and messaging, right? To make more money and, attract dream clients, everything. One of the secondary outcomes I get is they change people feel, whether it's that they become more focused on their health because I'm absolutely obsessed with focusing on mine every single day. Or is it maybe the part about family? There's an outcome there. So think of with messaging, we're always talking around what is it beyond what you do that absolutely like a value that aligns people to you. Maybe it's how you work. That's another message I say to people. Like, think around your style. My style's quite direct, quite pacey, transparent. Other people may be a bit more pink and unicorns, fluffy. That's fine. That's not necessarily what I like to work with as a mentor. But think around that. So I may say that actually I get you focused and on track and I get you thinking like a CEO in your business. So you completely operate on a different level. Others may say, oh, we just have fun. You know, business is incredible and it's not, it's more than business, it's more than money. We enjoy this. And it's like, I don't know, you go on a retreat and it's a bit more girls vibe and Hindu. Again, I've seen all of these different things and some of them work really well. For that type of clientele. You have to think about who you want to work with and again what they want. That's what it comes down to. It's not a right or wrong. And then the end transformation they get. So what that means to them in their life, who they'll become as a person in that. That transformation to get really, really clear on that. What's the vision they have for themselves? So if you were a PT, the vision your client may have is to lose weight, and the fact they'll be looking in the mirror and thinking they can, you know, like really celebrating the work they've done. They'll feel amazing. They'll be wearing the clothes they've always wanted to wear. They'll be able to pick and wear the clothes they've always liked. Have their sex. All these things happen from transformations. Okay, and that's always one I've worked in a mastermind years ago of PTs and fitness, and we always used to think about the emotional hook for somebody, and that's what we're doing here. So the ideal client in a market and the duration, so how long it is. So my mastermind 6 months. So being really clear on how long someone work with you for them to get that outcome. I tested it as a beta for 3 months and it was challenging on some parts and it was great. We got results, but I thought actually if I'm going to add a community element, I want that to be longer. And there's a method and system which I'm going to demonstrate mine later to give you an example. So we want to then have steps A to B. This is what you do. Activation points, so the points like learning sales and marketing, that part that's going to be how we get somebody to go from interest to commitment. They're taking the action, they're buying. Another way to put it is we are always funnel mode in a business. I get challenged on this sometimes, but I'd say every single business is a funnel, whether you like it or not. It's top of the funnel is awareness. We have to get more people aware about what we do. The middle is where we convert. This is the part where we have to be really visible to get more people in. That's the lead magnet part. That's this, exactly what this workshop is. That's the middle of the funnel. That's where you guys are. The bottom of the funnel is people buying. So our job is to get more leads like a tap through that funnel as quick as we can. That's the aim. And so it's the activation points of what we've got throughout that to get people there. So one may be the language that we have with them at some points, which I'll share with you later on what we can be doing. And removing any friction, removing the objections from that funnel, the A to the B. What are their objections? Is it money? Is it I want the result quicker? Is it that they fear they're going to get the result? That they worry about judgment and get overwhelmed and who's going to help them on all of the mindset stuff? So you have to break down all the things along the way that could create friction or challenges for you in that offer. It's really important. So one of the things I noticed in 2 months into the mastermind, the amount of money mindset issues that came up, huge. Now, I'd already created a money mindset course 9 months before that was semi-passive. So when I say semi-passive, it's there. You can buy it and go on it. You can get through it, the 8 modules on your own quite quickly. But I've still got to market it. And that's why I say things are semi-passive. But then I realized actually I'm going to include that in the offer of the mastermind because it's a no-brainer, because I don't want to be doing that again in the mastermind. I could do a monthly call on mindset that's helping them on the problems they've got in that moment. Whereas actually the money mindset is such a big challenge for everyone. And I'm always working on my money mindset. I can tick that box by just putting that in a mastermind. So again, it's being able to take your offer and say what's going well, what's not, so it can become more of a no-brainer. And this is where, again, we put things out for free. We get people through them. We get testimonials. We get the feedback. We know what works, what doesn't work. And we're always enhancing that offer for people and that experience. So breakdown of that. We've said, what do they want? Is this something they deeply want, like really unconsciously? Is it quite surface level what we're doing here? Or are we really getting to the bottom of that? Is it an urgent problem? Again, like we want something that is what they're thinking in their head. Most people don't actually know the biggest problem they have. People will tell me every day, I need more leads. Actually, need more engaged leads, because if I gave them just 10 leads and they were the wrong leads, that wouldn't make sense. So they want the right engaged lead. And actually, before they even want leads, they've got to have things like offers in place. They've got to know how to sell, how to market. Because even if I gave them a lead, if they don't know how to sell, they're not going to close. So again, most people aren't aware of the problem that they have in their business. And actually, it may not be a leads problem, it may be a sales problem, or it may be a marketing problem that's, they're not attracting leads for a start. So we need to then work on a likelihood of success. Are we stacking proof? And you're going to see throughout this tonight how I stack testimonials, frameworks, and case studies to demonstrate how I'm getting others' results in this way. The time to success. So can we shrink the timeline? Can we make it quicker? And there are times when we have to be transparent. I tell people this isn't a quick fix. I work with people that want to take action. I tell people that it may take a level of time. I've just told you that it didn't work for 3 months, so I wanted it, and it works in 6 months. So I changed it. So I position that people that this isn't a quick overnight thing. Like success isn't overnight. And effort and ease. Can we make it easier, simpler, smoother, and more enjoyable? There are certain things I can help people to achieve if they do the work in the first 90 days. Absolutely. So again, it's thinking around how we position that in the offer of what they can achieve within that time frame. Investing. So this is probably my little rant at the minute I've had on kind of been brewing and thinking around. I've said the odd social on it as well, but there is investment. We have time, money, and energy. Those are the three currencies. The most important currency to me in a business is time. I don't like people wasting my time. I've not got a lot of patience for that. But like we can buy time, right? So we can invest in people, we can invest in systems, processes, masterminds, mentors, opportunities. And we've been, I guess, what's the word? We've been in a society right now where it's been easy to get loads of information and when 2020 hit, everybody seemed to go online and everything. So it was a big, and you could start a business, and then everything just became more accessible, and you just find leads that way. We are seeing a shift in that we're having to pay for that, and we're having to invest in ads, invest in marketing, invest in people to help us stand out and be different, invest in not knowing what we could, because we have to get it quicker. So there are upfront costs to running a business, but it's either time, money, or energy. So I would rather sometimes pay for things to get a result quicker. So again, your clients will pay for things. When my clients work one-to-one with me, my one-to-one offer of 12 months for 15 grand or 3 months for 5 grand is because they'll get the result quicker. They can message me as and when they want to as a one-to-one. They have a call with me either weekly or bi-weekly, depending on the offer and what's right for their business. So they're going to get a result quicker. Okay, they get access to all the materials that I have to work through. So it's a no-brainer, right? Anybody that works 5 days in their business, reality is going to achieve more than someone that works 2 days. That's just how it is. So when you invest in people that are right for this and that they get through your offers, they will leave testimonials. They're going to refer you, and then they stay and pay. So you want all of those things. I started out the business by just doing loads of coaching sessions for free. I then did a accountability follow-up with them and said would you like help on this? And they'd be like, yes or no. I say, amazing, this is how it works. And I'd offer my offer, and then they'd be in or not in. So either way, I get a testimonial from that coaching experience as well. I'd know what could improve, what I'd change and continue. I'm still doing that in a way. I do little mini brainstorm audits. So I probably have 3 a week. They're literally 15 minutes. I will get somebody to run through their biggest bottleneck in their business right now. And I will give them 3 actions where they were and what they need to go and do. Okay. And then I have a reason to follow up that conversation with them, or I can get them booked on something. And I just get to know them as well. So then we can raise our prices over time. I often say, like, you get 5 people in, again, what can improve, etc. is working well, then you may want to add your price, increase your prices a bit then. But I'm aware that people are reducing the experience of what people get. They're reducing the features as such. So if let's just say maybe you have 4 calls in a mastermind, they might say, well, now it's 2, and they're also putting up the price. I think that's a real risk. I'm not saying don't do it, but I'm seeing a lot of that where they're reducing the client experience and the customer experience, and I think that is going to hold them back in time. And people have high expectations. So again, it's understanding the expectations of your clients. That's important to think around. There's a book, Solve Your Happy by May Gawdat. Talks about the reason why most people are unhappy is because their expectations aren't met. So again, be really clear on your client's expectations. Give me a thumbs up. You still with me? Hanging on. I should have filled my water bottle up. Good, Nicola. Okay, amazing. Good, yes. So step 5 is 5 hooks to use within your messaging. So how does it make them feel? This is the biggest one. I invest in mentors because they make me feel a certain way. I've had one mentor for I've probably only had like four or five. I've had one for 3 years solid, and I continue to have her to this day. Because she's always made me feel she believes in me, that I can achieve anything I want to. She's direct, she's honest. I've also got my friend who helped mentor me because again, it's a different dynamic having a guy. He helps in something really different in my business, which I think he's like that's his superpower. So I want to learn from him. So again, he makes me there's a level of trust there, and I think that's really important. So think around with you and your clients. How does it make them feel to be in your world? Like I said this when I came onto this, I want to celebrate wins. I want people to feel that they are incredible at what they do and that they can achieve so much more, that they are truly limitless, and often they're just in their own blocker. So I want them to believe that what they want to achieve in their life is possible. And how do we break that down? Even if it's going to take years, I'm going to work with somebody on it. I've had clients that have worked one-to-one for years, that have been in corporate, that have wanted to leave, that are leaving, some that don't want to leave as well. And they want to learn, how can I do the both? And that's cool too. So what's the transformation they'll see? How does it speed up everything for them? How will it change their average day, and how will it raise their status? So these are 5 things you can think about in terms of hooks you can use in your messaging. So I will use these through my content I'll put out as well. I'll think around, how do they want to feel in this when they're reading my content? That's why I'll do a lot of storytelling ones. I'll often use the idea of fitness, how that's relevant to business. You need discipline. You don't particularly want a PT, but you're going to need him because you don't want a nutrition plan or the fitness, but you need the accountability, and you want to get the result of looking lean and feeling sexy and all of that. The same as I'll say, you probably don't want a mentor. You probably don't want to come and do all of the calls and all of the work, but you want to make more money and you want to be able to have more time freedom. So I'll always kind of compare the two, use an A to B. So again, we can start to use really good hooks to think around in your messaging. And generally, again, think about, if you're putting something out, how is that going to change someone's life? How will it raise their status? Some people buy because they want to be in communities where it raises their profile and status. And I've seen that before. Or they think that investing in a mastermind where you get the opportunity to speak on stages, they want that visibility. So they'll pay for that. Whether wrong, I think that's right or wrong is irrelevant, but people will do that because they have status. Some people love flashy cars. I like a nice car, but I'm not too fussed about it how I was years ago. I quite like a Mulberry bag, but actually I'd rather now have time with people, and I'd rather have holidays. So think around with your messaging, what you're putting out there and how you're getting people in. What are you conveying? What's that part that's relevant to them and resonates? It makes them feel, oh, they get me. So Warren Buffett is often right with most things, a very successful man, and I've always loved his journey. But price is what you pay, value is what you get. With our offers, we do not want to be stacking them so it becomes that we can't deliver on them, or it becomes that actually people don't get the value from all of those things. There becomes a thing that it's not all about the features of something, it's the transformation that they get. That's what they buy, and that's really important to remember as well. They want to believe that they can achieve a result and get that result, and that's what we have to help them on. Pricing is really important in business. It's really important in your offers, and it's really important how it positions you. So there is perceived value when we position ourselves, and I'm going to break it down for you in pricing. So I teach how to position your offer around the dream outcome of what they want to achieve. It's not about the process. I've not at one point really today gone on anything about my messaging system here, which is what I do in a mastermind. That's the A to the B of what happens. So when they come in, there is a method. So it isn't about putting, anti-objections before they into your messaging. You want to be really clear on what their challenges are and how they overcome it, and then this solves that problem. That's the clarity you want. So the content I put out is only ever around these areas all the time. And I'll challenge myself if it's not. Why am I sharing it? Because it's got to relate back to if you've got that problem or that content resonates, oh, I solved that. Come and join my mastermind or come and work with me one to one. So a high converting offer has a specific problem it solves all the time. And we haven't got time to go into it today, but that's why we have to niche. I'm always asked about, can I just be a generalist? No, because it's impossible to get your marketing to ever speak to all those people. It just won't. And people, when they have a specific problem, and again, one thing we're seeing right now is they will go to a person who can solve that because they're in pain. They're stuck. They want out of that. So they will make that investment to get out of that. And most people, science proves, are driven out of pain than driven towards a desired pleasure. We all want that, but when they're more stuck, they want out of it. So we've got to have that clear outcome, credible and authority in what we do. So this is why we have to be really confident about what we do. And a unique mechanism. Why you? What makes you different? What's different from me with everybody else that does messaging? So have a little think with the offer that you're putting out. What makes it different? I'm going to share my offer with you later on so you can see how I position it. So you can see that it's different from other people's too and the reasons why I've done that. An ascension model is a great place to want to get to. Now, when I started out the business, I had one offer, which I said was one to one, and I would coach and get as many people through it. And then I'd make a no-brainer offer and say, would you like some help with this? And then I would sell to people then. I knew where I wanted to get a business, and this is an important part about having a vision. Not every business has to do this, but we know that all of us actually will have problem after problem after problem. So whenever I've done worked with a mentor or a mastermind, I will finish that and I've got a different problem. If I've still got the same problem, then that mastermind probably wasn't going to tick the spots, or maybe I wasn't right for the mastermind, but that would be on them as well. The reality is we will get a different problem. So I know that when somebody's in my membership, they will get to a point of having a problem and they may want to join a mastermind. Again, then once they've done a mastermind, they want to think about doing one-to-one because they should always be improving. They should be then getting the outcome of what you do and going to the next point. So what we want in time is to build that stack of offers as such. So I've got a membership. So often I will work from the top down. So I will always talk to people in position. If you can work with me for 12 months, one to one, it's £15,000. They'll say, no, I don't want to do that. And I had this with a sales call the other day. No, I just can't afford that. Okay, cool. 3 months is £5,000. Or my mastermind. And like, oh, tell me more about the mastermind. So I tell them more about the mastermind and I tell them about the price point, and then like, oh, and they sat in between. So quite transparently, like not every call converts. They've gone to think around things. But obviously, because I am how I am in sales, I blocked them into another call, which is Monday. They wanted to be on a call at the end of the week. And I was like, why are we going to wait 10 days? Like, what can you do Monday? Because I want to understand their decision-making process. They were telling me some of it was around money, but not completely, and they know they need to invest as well. So it's easy to just have a little think of which offer's right for them, and then we'll pick that up. So there's ways of taking people through the Ascension model. So then we've got the course, the group program, and mastermind. I like this because I think it's simple. I have one-to-one, I had the mastermind, and I have a membership. So I've got free. If you don't want to do any of those, listen to my podcast, it's free. That's why I like to give epic value in a podcast, because often 80% of my sales calls, probably 89% will say they've listened to my podcast. So I know it works as part of the sales process of people getting to know me, whether they like me, and all those things, and build trust. So start to think around. That's where, again, if you don't have a podcast, for me, that's a lead magnet. It's my time. It's not, I don't make any money from it in that way. It's not like a pure transactional thing. I enjoy it. It's one of the reasons I do it as well. I think it's a great way to get my voice out so people can like me or not like me quite quickly. So again, same with lead magnets. But maybe if you offer a lead magnet, you could have the thank you page where you have a video and you're just talking around. Amazing. Now the next step is to book on a call with me, which is the sequence I have for mine. So I want you to think around your offers and where it sits here. Now, I've spoken a few times about my highest tier being £12,000. Many years ago, I had a client say to me, I cannot believe you asked for £10,000. And I said, okay, well, you're never going to earn that then. And he just looked quite stone cold faced at me. And I said, well, you're not. I said, if you do not make that offer, that golden burger, and this is where it comes from, you're never going to earn it. Now, the golden burger is a concept, is like a pricing metaphor. So it's not really about the burger here. It's a high priced offer that commands premium attention, status, and desire, even if cheaper alternatives exist. Now, why would I pay $6,000 for a burger when I can go to Mackie D's for, well, actually, it's probably £2 something now. I haven't been for a while. So price creates perception. That's the important part. And a 6,000 burger makes people stop and stare and think, what the heck is in this? What on earth is going on? So it's the pause that's powerful in business. It creates curiosity, the prestige, and the perceived value. And high price creates high perceived value. So you want to have an offer that feels exclusive. I don't sell loads of them. I do sell them. So I know there's demand for them. And I got to a point with 15, I was like, okay, actually 15 was kind of my cap. And I was seeing, was the market going to pay more than that? And I was like, no, I probably need to get more awareness about what I do. I need to get more visibility, more credentials. I need to do more speaking to be known for what I'm doing. So at the moment, it sits perfectly at that point. But again, we test it. But you want to have something that really stands out. So you're not selling a burger. Okay. You're selling the experience. Like I said, they get access to me all the time. We can have calls as they want. If they're struggling with something, I'm like, let's just jump on a call, let's work through it. Let's get it done. So it's that gold dust, okay, served on a plate. That personal experience is even more. Maybe they also get, like mine, they also get a VIP day included as well, which is a whole day with me in London. They go for lunch with me. We have a whole focus on their strategy. So it's that story that they're going to tell. It's that building of a relationship you get with somebody. It's the result that's more memorable. It's the brand of being premium here. What it does is it stacks the value. It shows you can deliver a result faster as well. You make the process seamless. It wraps up that experience. But one of the things I really love about it is that it gives the others value. So if your top price tier for something is £500, that's going to be the top price point. So when, like I said, people come in and say, oh, 15,000 too much, I'm like, okay, cool, let's work through that. So I can do 3 months, 5 grand. So again, I can understand. There's sometimes that people will never invest. That's just how it is. But it brings those other the value to the rest of the offers. So this is a thing. Right? I remember, I'm going to talk to you about the biscuit test. So the biscuit test is a way to understand how your brand and offers are perceived in terms of value without changing the actual product or the service. So imagine this, you're served a biscuit on a silver tray at the Ritz versus the same biscuit in a plastic wrapper at a petrol station, right? It's perceived value. So this is, again, it's like psychology of selling. It's the same around the offer. When I was in retail, we used to do tests all the time with products, because we wanted all of the colleagues and teams to know what things were like, so they can make recommendations, all that jazz, and we make more money. But we do these tests, and we would say which one, that's a McVitie's, that's that, or that's the basics one that they can get, like the 20p one versus that one's £2. Now, it was always a perceived value. Okay. At times, sometimes I'd give exactly the same biscuit. I'd say, oh, that one's at Vitty's. What do you think? That one's that, and that one's that. What do you think's the best? And they'd be like, oh, that one. I'd be like, oh, that one's the basics, actually. Okay. It's not to trick people, but perceived value is a thing. So, okay. So even then, things like when we used to make offers, the stuff that was eyeline to how people buy was the top tier one. And the bottom one that was the cheapest would be at the bottom because people don't look there. They look here. So this is all around, again, a psychology of offers, sales, and everything. So it's really important to think around is what's your offers right now and the perception on the value here. Because this is what it means. A low price gets a low emotional investment. We've heard the phrase, or we may have heard the phrase around, people who pay commit. And it is generally true. Not always, not exclusive, but generally I've seen that to be true as well in my clientele. So people that pay a lower price are less emotionally invested. They don't ask them to stay for 12 months or something because it will be impossible. Perceived value, right, is less. The questions on the results, the poor experience, there's less sales because they're not willing to do the work because it doesn't mean something. When someone makes an investment, I often want to hear, or what am I doing? Or I'm really nervous. And I've heard that when I've had one-to-ones. I remember one joined me end of last year and came on a call the next day, like after I made the investment. So like, I can't believe what I've done. What am I doing? And I was like, it's cool, we're gonna sort it. So I've got a call today. I need to focus on a quick win with them so they can let that kind of dissipate and get them engaged on getting the results and focus because actually it's just their mindset, it's their thoughts that's taking the lead. And once they're focused, they're going to achieve it. The opposite, obviously, then the high price and that is the higher emotional investment. And you'll be able to look at some clients right now and say, are they emotionally invested or not? And it's a reflection sometimes of our offers. It's about us being honest with ourselves. So that's why with the mastermind, it's 3 grand. I'm really clear on that. And I've worked, that's increased over time because people are getting results and giving even more to it. So there's an emotional investment, perceived value, achieve better results, improves experience, and then they get more sales. And that's what we want for people. So talking a bit about earlier, I said about like the outcome of what they want to get. We want to take out the time element. We want to make it easy. There's a risk reversal part we need to think around. So this may not be something you could do straight away, but I do want you to think around it. One of my amazing clients, Jenna Farmer, she does PR and she gives a pure guarantee. We're talking to her day to day about it, about she will get you in one of her offers 2 PR pieces. I think it's a no-brainer. I think it's incredible. And that absolutely captured loads of people when she made this offer. So you want to think around removing the fear of investing in your offer by shifting the perceived risk away from the buyer and onto you. So this is really important. So you will see all of these. Now, I'm not big on them if you can't stick with them. So I've seen people before like 30-day money back guarantee, and it's come with so many things that it's like, well, I'd never get that anyway. One of the first masterminds I invested in said something like that about, if you don't invest, and it's like, but if you don't come to the days, you're out. It's like most people didn't come to a fewer days throughout the year, so they'd never get that back. So I do want you to think around having a bit of being genuine with it as well. So I like to think of it, how I do this more with guarantees is I will put it through and demonstrate what I'm going to share today is around some case studies, because that's me showing results. So I will make a statement that holds that to be true that someone else said. So if you're going to say something like most clients get results within 30 days, like again, lots of fitness people will, you can get this result. You need to substantiate that claim. You need to show that. So that's why you'll see people in fitness show an A to B of somebody and say, this was Amy at 10 kilos. She'd be higher than that, but now she's lost 5 kilos, right? So think around what the actual claim is and that you've achieved that. For example, I'm going to show you Shalini. So Shalini's, again, you can see I've stacked up here with her message to me as well. But I shared this on my socials. I'm just going to press play for a little bit.
Where I'm going to reach 5 times my revenue to what I made last year. And that is powerful. Do you see? And that itself, you just think, oh my God, like I literally was like, what is going on here? And it was all through listening to the recordings, listening back to the conversations, and
oh, there we go. So the point there is she's talking about it. She's with me. So there's no way to get out of that. It's not like I've just pushed me into it, is it, as a video, which again, some people do that on YouTube. But I'm stacking it up here and demonstrating the A to the B. It's somebody speaking about a credible result. There's an energy there when somebody's listening and engaged as well. So I want you to really think around, this is why we want things like testimonials, where we've actually, I literally interview my clients. I will say, can we get on a call? If they've had the results, I want to celebrate them. I want to promote their business because I'm always building my audience. And loads of my clients refer one another through knowing each. I call it like my little black book of online as such. It was one of the things I was great with in corporate was just connecting people and I get stuff done fast. And I'm like, well, if I do the same in my business, surely I get results fast myself and I get others results fast. So that's why I'm huge on building audiences, getting to know people who do different things and celebrating the success of your clients. Here's another one. Victoria Bremner, she joined the mastermind in March. Like literally, I'm just so proud of how they're doing in that. It's incredible. Because they're doing the steps and implementing. This is again, you can see, so again, proof like 29th of April. I got my first booking for my group program. So we've been working on her group program since she joined in March because I knew she wanted to do that. We had obviously a bit of a break for Easter. Guess what? Just sold another space on there. So chuffed. She's using the scripts. I'm demonstrating again, like Shalini, listening to the program, doing the work, coming to the calls, being a part of the in-person days, um, asking the questions. And then again, being part of the community, I can talk about that and a win, feeling a fear and doing it anyway. Brilliant. And now she has, that was, I will have a date on that. It just won't change my WhatsApp. But it's Monday, it was this Monday just gone. So we're talking about really probably the beginning of April-ish. I think she did that midway through Easter. Like we're talking about weeks, and she's got paying attendees into her first group program. It's incredible. So it's when we can demonstrate to people the step by step that we're getting people the results by what we're sharing and doing, it helps build belief. And that's really important. Another masterminder is Sharon. Sharon, I've known for many, many years. Sharon works in corporate, but she also has her business as a leadership coach. She's incredible at what she does. Again, here you can see she's been getting great results. She's been focusing on really the only platform she focuses on is LinkedIn. But again, what I'm demonstrating by sharing this is with people is that she's been using the strategies like I often challenge them around my mastermind is on put out a post like I'm looking for 5 people, and that post there I'm looking for 5 people. Again, it was reposted, liked by everybody, so there's leads there that she can follow up with, like over 38 people that have liked it, and she can get in conversations with, and then she had people reach out by DMs to understand more about what she does and everything. So again, we're able to demonstrate to people that you're given this, you go and do it, it works, and people just want that proof. So let's just see how it's working for more people. Again, you can see it's about getting results. I share a lot of these. I wouldn't share them without their knowledge. Like people tend to know when they come into that. As I said, I'm promoting their business as well. I'm doing it to celebrate success. I don't share anything that's not that's confidential ever. But I think that it is important that we just show people now more, and not just tell. I think a lot of people say about everything that's amazing, and we need to be able to demonstrate that in a way. And we all have the ability to do it. It's just learning the skills of how we go about that. But it makes a massive difference. So if people don't get what you do, they can't buy it. So clear messaging isn't a nice to have. Like this is a non-negotiable right now because it's really helping businesses to stand out, and it will differentiate businesses between being a hobby and a business. Again, if we have to make money to have it a business, that has to be the core focus. Otherwise, like I said, there it becomes a hard fact that it's a hobby. So what's the biggest mistake? That's one. I said mistakes, but I think the one I hear a lot is people don't ask for the sale. They're not making, they've got their offer, but they don't ask for that sale to make money on that offer. They deliver exceptional value. They build great excitement. They're really energized for it. They're launching, they're happy, and then they just don't. They fumble and it just doesn't close and they don't get clients. We have to be focused. We have to be confident. We have to believe in our offer to sell it. So that's one of the first ones here is mistakes that you don't believe you can achieve it. Then also the fact we don't ask for the sale. These are 4 messages that I use that get me sales. And you can see them again, evidence here. Amazing Vicky, lovely Elizabetta, who's in the wedding industry. So I will say, are you in? Yep, I'm in. Interested? Yep, I'm in. So it's really not hard sometimes once we've built that relationship with people. So I will say things like, cool, you're an ideal fit for the mastermind with everything here. Would you be against learning more about that? Now, the would you be against is it's different for somebody to say, yeah, I'd be against that. Like they're naturally going to say, no, I'm not, right? So honestly, this one worked. This completely changed things when I started using it, and I couldn't believe how easy it was. And actually, the response it got was so much better. It wasn't like, "Do you want to know more?" They'd be like, "No." It would just be like, "Would you be against learning more about that?" It's very different. Sound fair enough? I love this one as well. So if I'm on the end of a sales call, I'm like, "Look, you're perfect for this. This is how we do it. I'll answer all their questions. All sound good? So sound fair enough? Ready to go?" And some people just need that, but we're so afraid to ask for that sale of our offer. And that's the important part. And we need to understand their objections because that will help us understand what's not selling in the offer. So another one I've used that's like gold dust is look, I know this is quite a direct one, but it's also an invitation. We've been in each other's worlds now for a while. What needs to happen for us to work together? And then just go silent. but they're going to just give you the honest feedback as well. And again, like just give people that space to do that. But it give you gold dust in what's not working or their objections. So you can also work on that. It's really important. So they're not salesy, they're service led. And I believe service is about sales. Sorry, sales is about service. And it's a disservice not to sell and promote our offers if we can change someone's life because we're helping them solve that problem. So let's recap and build this all in together is that to have a sellout, a standout offer, we need to have the offer matrix really clear. You need to have mapped out all of those areas, okay? And you can work on them. You're going to refine them. You're going to get feedback and you go again. We need to think about the risk reversal. So if we haven't got that yet, of what I've demonstrated for examples, how can we start to get that? What does that look like? What things can we get in place, processes, steps, so that we do that with clients? You know, when they're coming near to the end of a program or finishing, I've got some clients ending in a few months, and I'm like, right, let's get on a call. Let's understand what's worked well, what's not, where you're at, because their problems will be different. The real reason offers don't sell is because most people don't ask for that sale. It's quite simple in that way. They won't ask for people to do that. I did 4 follow-ups yesterday and got 2 sales. So it's just really, and that's not always like a clear conversion. Sometimes I'll do follow-ups and get no sales. But we just need to be clear on the things that we're offering. And that's again where we need the clarity on less offers and selling one thing at one time. So practice and communicate. I didn't suddenly get okay with, natural needs. I still get a bit nervous doing workshops or masterclasses or speaking, but I quite like the fact I do because I care about that and I genuinely want to help people. So make sure that you're giving it a go and sharing it or putting it out to, like we have in a mastermind, like, right, share your offering here, share it with me, let me cast my eyes over a bit, let's give each other feedback. That works really well. If you've been struggling with creating a no-brainer and getting clients, then you're getting your business and your marketing advice from Google, maybe, or you're trying all the copying of the others or the modeling things. And I hear it. I hear it. Somebody said the other week, oh, I'm okay. I'm just having a look. I've been really looking at social media and just following what they do. We don't know their strategy. That's really hard. I was misled by someone last year who she wanted investment to work in her mastermind, 20 grand. She was saying she does social media with no ad spend, like she's teaching you social media organic. All of her stuff on social media was backed by ads, and I was just like, that's just not transparent. I was like, all of your results are because you're putting money behind it in ads, so it's not organic, but you're teaching people that. And I just thought that was a real gap. There was a not I didn't believe that she would help me get the results I wanted. So I was out. So again, I think we've just got to be transparent. And I always tell people, like, if I'm backing ads or something or not, and what I'm testing, because I think that's fair. You're playing small and often our own bottleneck. And often we can be overwhelmed, but we're not sure what's overwhelming us. We're not clear what to do next. We don't feel confident about the offer, and that's stopping us from showing up because we don't know what to talk about or how to position it. And maybe you just feel like you tried everything and nothing's working. So what if you had an actual step-by-step blueprint, that thing that's going to help you grow your business and successfully get clients? You never had to worry about, am I doing it right or wrong? Am I screwing this up? Because you actually knew what to do, how to do it, and actually things are going to work. You had somebody who could guide you step by step through every part of the process, niching down, clarity on your offers, creating the content, looking at your numbers, understanding your finances, building out the offer, learning the offer, refining things. All sounds exhausting just saying that out loud like that. But if you just had that person to work with, then you wouldn't have any of that overwhelm. And actually started seeing the results and the income. That's the important part in, starting to roll in and quite soon. People want to feel that, and we've got to be making sure we're doing that. So what if you had all those things? Well, if you feel you're stuck on what to do next and you feel overwhelmed or distracted by everything that's happening, or if you're stuck not making the money you want and it seems like everyone else is smashing it online, I often hear that and I think, I'm not at all. No way. Lacking a clear support and accountability step by step. Then you've got a choice. Like we've always got a choice, right? There's A or B. Super simple. So A, you keep doing things on your own, hoping for a breakthrough and trying to figure it out as you go. It's not always the quickest one. Often the quickest route to frustration and overwhelm and the time element. Or B, you can get involved with understanding about the mastermind, where you have a proven system and you start seeing the results just as all the other masterminds are getting there. And you'll stop wasting time and you'll start making money faster. The choice is yours.